The Galactic Empire ordered Earth's surrender. Humanity deployed warships. Instead, Admiral Zexhar of the Valdorian Empire stared at the transmission screen with what his species considered barely contained fury, his tentacles writhing in agitation while his compound eyes flickered with disbelief. The message from the primitive world called Earth had just finished playing, and its contents defied every protocol of galactic civilization. "They said no?" his communications officer asked, her voice trembling with uncertainty. The Admiral's massive form shifted in his command chair aboard the dreadnought Cosmic Dominion. For over 3 millennia, the Valdorian Empire had expanded across the galaxy, bringing order to countless worlds. Their standard procedure was simple: arrive with overwhelming force, demand surrender, accept compliance, and integrate the new world into their empire. It had worked on 47,000 star systems. Earth was supposed to be system number 47,001. Not only did they refuse, Zexhar's voice rumbled through the bridge's translation systems, but they called our demand adorable and suggested what was the phrase? Bring it on. 3 days earlier, the Empire's first contact protocols had been flawlessly executed. They had broadcast their standard message to Earth in every known language: submit to Imperial rule or face annihilation. The response time had been faster than expected. Most species required weeks to process the gravity of their situation. Humanity had responded in 18 minutes. The response hadn't been from Earth's government or military leadership. It had come from something called the United Nations Emergency Military Council, and the human who delivered it wore no fancy uniform or ceremonial dress. He was a middle-aged man in simple military fatigues who introduced himself as General Marcus Chen. "To the Valdorian Empire," he had said, looking directly into the camera with unsettling calm, "we acknowledge your message. After careful consideration lasting approximately 17 minutes, including a coffee break, we decline your generous offer of subjugation. Instead, we'd like to extend a counter-proposal. Leave our solar system immediately and we'll pretend this awkward first meeting never happened." The general had paused, as if consulting notes. "If you choose to proceed with hostile action, please be advised that humanity has spent the last century perfecting the art of killing each other with increasingly creative methods. We're quite good at it. Today we're prepared to demonstrate these skills on a galactic scale. Your move." The transmission had ended with the human actually winking at the camera. Now, as Admiral Zexhar prepared to teach these insolent primitives the price of defying the Empire, his tactical officer approached with a report that made his blood run cold. "Sir, long-range sensors are detecting massive energy signatures throughout the Earth system." "Define massive," the Admiral commanded. "Sir, they're launching ships. Hundreds of them, no, thousands." The officer's voice climbed to a higher pitch. "Admiral, they're not showing up properly on our sensors. The energy signatures don't match anything in our databases." Through the view screen, Zexhar watched as Earth's response became visible. Ships were rising from the planet's surface, emerging from behind its moon, and materializing from what appeared to be empty space. They weren't the sleek, elegant vessels of advanced civilizations. These ships looked brutal, angular, armored, and covered in weapon systems. "Transmission incoming from the human fleet," communications reported. On screen, this time a different human appeared, a woman with steel-gray hair and the bearing of someone who had seen countless battles. She wore the uniform of Earth's Space Navy, a service that, according to Imperial intelligence, shouldn't have existed. "I'm Admiral Sarah Reyes, commanding the Terran Defense Fleet. You have 30 seconds to begin retreat procedures before we demonstrate why humanity has never lost a war we were determined to win." "Impossible," Zexhar roared. "Our intelligence reports indicated primitive nuclear technology, barely capable of orbital flight." Admiral Reyes smiled, an expression that somehow conveyed more menace than any Valdorian battle cry. "Your intelligence was accurate. For our public technology, what you didn't know is that humans have a special talent. We lie, especially to potential threats. While you were watching our primitive rockets, we were building a fleet designed specifically to kill things like you." The human ships began moving, and their formation patterns defied Imperial tactical doctrine. Instead of the organized, predictable movements of civilized warfare, they swarmed like predators, coordinated but chaotic, impossible to predict or counter effectively. "Sir, they're targeting our escort vessels," Tactical reported. Weapon signatures are, "Sir, I don't understand these readings." The first human attack wasn't energy beams or missiles. It was something far worse. The escort ship simply stopped. Dead in space, all power gone, crews alive but completely helpless. "What did they do?" Zexhar demanded. Admiral Reyes answered as if she could hear him. "Electromagnetic pulse weaponry, refined through decades of preparing for nuclear warfare against ourselves. Your ships use standard galactic power systems. They're vulnerable to disruption methods you've never encountered, because civilized species don't develop these weapons. Humans aren't civilized." More ships fell silent. The Empire's mighty fleet, designed to intimidate primitive worlds into submission, was being systematically disabled by weapons that existed nowhere else in the galaxy. "We could destroy them all," Zexhar's weapons officer suggested desperately. "With what?" Reyes's voice came through their communications again. Somehow they had hacked Imperial channels. "Your primary weapons require your power systems to function. Your backup systems are designed to counter Galactic standard attacks. We studied your technology for 3 months after you first entered our system. We designed every weapon specifically to kill Valdorian ships." The Admiral felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries. Genuine fear. "This is Admiral Zexhar of the Valdorian Empire. We are willing to discuss terms." "The terms are simple." General Chen's voice joined the conversation. "Leave, never return. Spread the word that Earth is under human protection. Anyone who wants to trade, talk, or visit peacefully is welcome. Anyone who comes with conquest in mind will discover why we're the only species that deliberately invented the concept of overkill." As the Imperial fleet began its retreat, Admiral Zexhar realized that the galaxy had just changed forever. Humanity had done something no other species had managed in 3 millennia. They had not only refused Imperial dominion, but proven capable of enforcing that refusal. The galaxy would learn a new word, human, and with it, a new concept. A species that treated warfare not as a tool of civilization but as an art form perfected through millennia of practice on themselves. Earth's surrender had been demanded. Humanity had deployed warships instead. The age of human space had begun.